Welcome to Corrections Reflections Podcast, a platform dedicated to individuals who've experienced incarceration. When I was 19 years old, I made a decision that would change my life. Eventually, I would find myself in prison. And when I got out, I made it my mission to help give those who faced incarceration a voice. If you haven't already got my book, you can find it on Amazon. The name of the book is Guilty, the story they never told.
My name is William Limcole, and I'm from Henrietta, Oklahoma. I was born in Tennessee, but sometime after my mother had me, she moved back to her family in Oklahoma.
Well, let me hear. Start from the beginning. Like, what's your earliest memory, and what does it say about where you came from?
My earliest memory about my mother?
Yeah.
I only got like 5 memories. But I remember us being in a house, in a blue house.
Yeah.
I grew up in Henrietta, so I see the house all the time.
So, growing up in Oklahoma and Tennessee, when did you first realize life wasn't going to be easy? You know, what was the difference in between living in both places?
I mean, I don't remember anything from Tennessee. Sometime during all this, she came back to her family. You know what I mean? She was out chasing drugs. My father from Tennessee, but I ain't never met him before, so I really don't know anything about that life. And I only got 5 memories. I really don't know much about it at all, but Oklahoma shit.
You mentioned not having many memories of your mother as a kid. How did that absence of her in your life shape you as a kid?
Probably fucked me up pretty good. But sometime after she came back, she managed to get rid of my brother and my sister. My brother was staying with my grandma, and my sister got adopted out to another family. From what I was told, when I was 4, she left me at a babysitter's house for a few days while she was out doing drugs. DHS got involved, and then I went into the system. Eventually, my aunt and uncle adopted me, my mom's brother and his wife. And that's who I call mom and dad today.
Okay, so that's who raised you, right? Is there any things that they taught you growing up to help you mature as a man or help you later on in life? Or did y'all have that type of relationship, or was it like a love-hate relationship?
It's tough, you know. It's we didn't really have a relationship like that, but if they did teach me anything, it would probably be to just be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can tell you one thing, though, we always try not to be like the ones who raised us, it feels like. It's like they taught us what not to be like, so sometimes, not everybody has that type of relationship, but, good relationships and bad relationships, everybody has them. Okay, so as a young man, were you angry about what you didn't know how to explain about your relationship with your mother?
I don't know, man. She missed out. You know what I mean? It is what it is, right? It is what it is.
Yeah. Did that help you be a better parent to your child or to your children?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, she chose drugs over any of her children, you know, and that's tough for anyone. So it is what it is, and you know, maybe there's times where she tried to look like she tried, but
you didn't really feel it, huh? All the way, huh?
I mean, what do you mean? I was adopted, bro.
And like, yeah,
she gave her rights away.
Sure.
Yeah. Nah, but anyways, my parents, they had 3 daughters of their own, and they decided to take me in, you know, so that's awesome, you know, and I had a new family. But honestly, I had a fucked up childhood growing up, and I started getting in trouble at a young age. Trouble for nothing, really. But I'm not gonna get too much into my childhood. But the older I got, the more I wanted to give them a reason for me to be in trouble. I started stealing my mom's cigarettes and stuff. You know, just doing mischievous things. I started dipping tobacco in the 6th grade probably, and I was always having to hide it, and you know, and it was tough. You know, I did it for a long time. It was tough, and every time they caught me, I got in so much trouble, bro. It was tough.
What was the first bad decision you ever made in your life that you knew that was going to change your life? I mean, we all got our habits, whatever things we did behind our parents' back, like smoke cigarettes, you know, smoke weed, drink a little bit. But when did you first really know that you were heading down the wrong path?
Damn, bro, a long time. When I was a kid. Honestly, I was always in trouble from the time so my parents adopted me at 4 years old, you know, and they tell me stories from the very beginning where I was just doing horrible things, always just in trouble, and I cannot remember even when the first time I got in trouble was. I don't remember. I don't remember. It all runs together, you know. I was in so much trouble all the time.
Was there ever a point when you were growing up that you seen you was going down the wrong road, but just kept going anyway? Yeah. That was, probably my whole life, really. But I mean, it was never serious until it wasn't, you know? Yeah. That's usually how it goes. So where'd you grow up at? What community?
Henrietta. So I actually grew up in Henrietta. So I lived in Henrietta, but I went to school at Wilson. So I wasn't really in the Henrietta community per se, but I wasn't really in any community, you know what I mean? Like, I was sheltered, you know what I mean? My sisters, they had a pretty good life, yeah, you know? But honestly, I was pretty sheltered. Stealing my parents' cars, bro. Dude, stealing their phones. Oh yeah. Stealing their cars. My sisters got to grow up with cell phones, but honestly, it was a crime if I had one. There were countless times I stole their phones during the night, and went to go use them. I had to go feel good, like I had to act like I had a phone too, you know. So like, if there was a girl I wanted to talk to, I would attempt it, you know. I'd message her. I would even use my parents' phones, but that was not a lot. You know, that's crazy. That's going too far. I did it a couple times, but I was 12 or 13 when I started stealing my parents' vehicles. I started sneaking out in the middle of the night. Man, I stole their car too many times, bro. Which is crazy for me to do because my dad's a pretty big fella.
Did you get like a rush out of it?
No, well, no, I don't. Maybe a little.
Or did it feel like you was more like in survival mode?
Man, yeah, both. I like both. Maybe a little bit of both. Because, man, I just wanted to go do some shit. I just wanted to I didn't have a life, bro. I couldn't get out, so.
Just trying to have fun, huh?
Man, you hear me? I was just trying to do something.
Oh, we can go back in time. I know.
Man. Yeah, one time I stole my sister's car to try to go get some pussy.
I think we've all been there.
Yeah.
Time or two.
On my way home, I tried to do some cool shit, and I was gonna try to drift it around I came to a 4-way stop.
Yeah.
And I tried to drift it, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I acted like I did.
You fucking some shit up?
Yeah. I ended up drifting it a little bit, but then I smacked the window. I smacked the mirror on a sign, and it shattered it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so then I had to take it home, and I acted like nothing happened, and then I was confronted about it the next day, and I played stupid. But yeah, I got in trouble. Yeah, they knew it was me.
What do you think? Do you think they felt like you was rebellious or just misunderstood?
Rebellious. I don't even know. Yeah, rebellious. I think growing up my whole life, they just considered me a bad kid. They already labeled me. They labeled me before anyone else did.
Do you think do they feel responsible, or they feel like you was just doing it?
No, they don't feel responsible.
Okay.
But of course, I can't make them feel responsible either, because we all are the creator to our own story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, sure, things happen, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
So what's a story that you never told your parents, but you knew you could have gotten in trouble for?
Alright. I'll tell you this story. So...
What point were you at? Say sorry, parents.
Sorry.
We're sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Mom and Dad. So, when I was about 12 or 13, I had my first gun. But that's only because I stole it.
You had to steal a gun though to have one back in the day.
Yeah. I kept it hidden outside in the back alley, and our alley wasn't really connected to like any other houses. It was just like our house, and then behind our house we had an alley back there, and we used it. So back there we had some junk, and those bird baths, they're angels. They're like figure angels, and they hold the bowl, and it's like a real big bowl, and it's a bird bath. Alright, so there's a big heavy one, probably like 50, 60 pounds, and that's where I hid the gun the whole time I stayed there. And then we ended up moving out to Wilson, and I moved the gun out to my grandma's house and gave it to my younger cousin to hold on to. Okay, because I thought him and I were I thought we had some kind of connection, some kind of understanding, some kind of connection for sure. You know what I mean?
So,
He was always in trouble like I was, but he honestly had a lot of freedom. He didn't have the same parents I had. You know what I mean?
yes, sir.
So, but yeah, he was in a lot of trouble too. But, anyways, should have known I could have trusted him. He, check it out. His stepdad was an alcoholic, and I guess he was abusive at the time. My cousin, like I said, I was 12 or 13, and he was younger than I was.
Oh yeah.
And his stepdad was being abusive, and my cousin pulled the gun out on him, I guess, and then left with the gun. And then his mom called my mom freaking out, bro.
Your gun?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Man, called my mom freaking out. Dude, I was in so much trouble. It was yeah, I was in so much trouble. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And the way he had a relationship with his parents, where he kind of just got away with everything. Did that make you resent your parents in any way?
Nah, bro. I was adopted.
I know. I mean,
It's expected.
Yeah, expected.
You know what I mean? Like, it is what it, honestly, I see it this way. When now that I have a child, when you have a child, ain't nobody gonna love that person like you love that person. You know what I mean? Because you made that person, and the fact that I didn't come from them, like, I can't expect them to love me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And I know that they do. I'm not saying that they don't. I know that they do.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
you know, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people can agree with that.
Right.
It's easier to love your own flesh and blood than it is somebody you just welcome into your home.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe sometimes they aren't welcome, you know, but they have no choice but to take you in. And it's not your fault, you know, the way you get treated.
Yeah. I started committing crimes around that time, 12 or 13, 14-ish. Little before that. Not real crimes or anything, because I wasn't a thug or anything, but I was breaking into houses and breaking into cars and shit, stealing shit.
Did you ever feel like that lifestyle was going to lead you to a time in jail or in prison?
No, but I wasn't really, like I said, I didn't have a life. I didn't have enough freedom to even be able to do that stuff. I would do that stuff whenever I would sneak out at night sometimes. You know, like, I was just causing trouble because I was always in trouble, bro. I don't know, I was just doing dumb shit.
Almost like a double life, huh? Like you do this outside and come home and be the sweet little kid, huh?
Yeah, I wasn't a bad kid or anything, but I was always in trouble. So in return, I just always did bad shit. I ain't gonna act like I didn't do my shit, because I did some shit. Sometimes I did some shit to be in trouble, but sometimes I didn't. You know, so punishment didn't fit the crime, type shit. So I made it fit the crime. When I was in the 2nd grade, my mom got a job at the school. She's still there today. But when I was a freshman or a sophomore in high school, my parents were part of the robotics team. You ever heard of the robotics team?
I think I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, they make robots and stuff.
Yeah, we didn't have one in our school, but I think I'm aware of it.
Yeah, so like they make robots, and they make the robot do a certain thing, right? They make it to do a certain thing, right? So like some people could have like an amazing robot, and then some people could have a horrible robot with like a boom arm lift. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, anyways, there was a lot of people, a lot of schools here at this school that we all went to, for the robotics thing. We went to a school in Stillwater on a Saturday, and honestly, I thought it was pretty boring. So I got a few younger buddies together, and somehow I convinced them to help vandalize the school.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't do a lot of damage or anything, but we fucked up the library. We flipped the tables upside. Hey, my little cousin, my younger cousin, he was part of it too. We flipped tables upside down and like threw chairs all over the place. We dumped bookcases, bookshelves. Oh man, it was crazy.
I don't mean to get excited about this, whatever, but just stories like this remind me of my childhood. A better time. So, please excuse us, but yeah, just bear with us.
Oh man. When we got to school on Monday morning, they called us in the office one by one, and I ended up getting suspended from school.
Did they give y'all SWATs at y'all school?
Dude, yeah.
So everybody had permission to whoop us back in the day, it felt like.
Hey, that was their go-to move on me because suspension. My mom worked at the school.
She thought, oh, she ain't coming home.
Oh man. Yeah. I also got in trouble and couldn't play basketball. I had to sit the bench because you know why? My coach was also my principal. That sucked.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so he's the one that suspended me too. Yeah.
Did he have any positive?
No, actually, I think he's the one that they called. They got us on camera, bro. They got us on camera. They narrowed us down, and they called so many schools. But then, after they called so many schools, they figured it out. We were such a small school.
It wasn't that hard, huh?
Got him. Yeah, red-handed, bro.
And somebody thought, hey man, they caught us.
Oh man, yeah. I can remember one of them told me they was like, yo, they're calling us into the office. I started tripping.
Oh,
yeah, I started tripping. Yeah, I was the one in charge.
Did you ever do anything in school like smoke weed or drink alcohol or anything like that?
Of course. I didn't really go out and party all that much. I really didn't drink that much. Like I said, because I was sheltered and stuff, I didn't have a life. But I did smoke some weed.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, alright, so my mom, she would, whenever I would smoke her cigarettes and stuff, she would obviously smell it on me. And sometimes when I would smoke some weed, she would smell it on me but think I smoked a cigarette, and I let her believe it. I just took the punishment because I was high, and like I don't even care.
The hell with it.
Fuck it, I'm always in trouble. What's more trouble? Nah, so I was like, yeah. But I definitely wasn't telling her it was weed. Yeah, no. That would have been horrible.
Yeah, you'd been definitely in trouble.
Yeah, I was probably suspended in every single grade except my senior year.
Did you ever get caught smoking?
No. But nah, we used to smoke out in the greenhouse because it's a little country school. Yeah, we used to smoke out in the greenhouse or outside where the cameras were. So since my mom worked at the school, she was a janitor and she had access to the entire school. Well, I had to do her job and help clean the school. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So in the computer lab, there was a can of air duster. I knew that I was going to be in the office in ISS at school the next day, so I hid the air duster in the school. Well, they didn't have ISS class, like there wasn't a lot of people in it, was just me. So they weren't going to risk calling somebody in or getting a teacher or anything, so like they just set me in an office. They set me in a closet inside the office. Okay.
Yeah, closet in the office?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, like where they.
I think like, wait, I think about that. Like, wait,
Yeah, like where they store their files and stuff.
Punishment like a motherfucker, goddamn.
Anyways, I hid that air duster somewhere, and then when school started, I was sitting in that office doing my work, and they let me go to the bathroom. And when I went to the bathroom, I ran to get the air duster, and I brought it back in there with me, and I started hitting it a few times. Bro, I hit it one good time, and I guess I fell and made a loud crash. And they came in there and checked on me, and I was passed out on the floor. They started waking me up, and whenever I stood up, they seen the air duster, and of course, I was booked.
And then the air duster ain't no joke, is it?
No, I don't know. Hey, have you ever seen people who do like the whippets or like the
nitrous or whatever?
Yeah.
What's that called? They use for when you go to the dentist. The laughing gas type stuff. Whatever.
Yeah, what's that called? Nitrous oxide?
Yeah, nitrous oxide.
I don't know.
I think so.
Hey, don't get me lying.
Hey, they be getting a whole tank. I be seeing people on TV.
Oh yeah. They be
blowing
colorful
it.
though.
Yeah.
They be colorful.
Yeah.
What?
That like the hell of a high.
I don't know what those are called.
I don't know, but they be.
Those people, they from like Atlanta and stuff. they.
Hey, my cousin did some air duster once. They ended up on the other side of the highway, and they was all frozen. And I guess one person that was not doing air duster woke up, seen the lights coming, and jumped in the driver's seat and drove off.
Hey,
Like shit.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I know it, right?
Yeah, I was always in trouble though. My middle name was Trouble.
Hey, for some reason, wasn't nothing like getting high at school though.
Man, hey, but stay far away from that air duster, homie. That shit ain't no joke. Yo.
Yes, sir. Yeah, stay away from drugs, everybody. You hear that, right? Don't do drugs.
After my junior year of high school, I was 18 years old, and I decided to move out of my parents' house. I thought I was old enough to break free, and I was out. So I moved in with some friends and partied for the summer, and I had a blast. My senior year was coming up, and I wanted to play basketball, so that meant I had to stay focused. If I wanted to play, I couldn't stay in the current situation I was in. So I decided to move back to my parents' house. And when I did, honestly, everything changed dramatically.
Did you ever want to go to college and play ball?
Of course. Yes. Yeah, but if you would like to read my book, you know, that's in my book. The story's in my book. You can find it on Amazon. The name of the book is Guilty, the story they never told.
You know, that guilty, the story that was never told. You can find it on Amazon. Go ahead and go buy them up.
So my senior year was coming up, and I wanted to play basketball, so I ended up moving in with my parents again. They no longer treated me, you know, in a way that felt shallow, if that makes sense, because remember, I'm adopted. Okay, so like they honestly they treated me like they treated their children, and it was nice. They gave me freedom, they gave me space, regular rules. They treated me like their kid. It was awesome. Honestly, it was a good time. My senior year was the best time of my life. I got a girlfriend. They let me hang out with her all the time. They gave me a regular curfew. I broke it. I didn't get in trouble. I could go out the night before, get hammered, come home, sleep all day, and they would leave me alone. Before, that was never an option. And maybe they didn't know, but maybe they did, Maybe they did. I don't know. But like I said, it was a good time. It changed dramatically. It was good. It was good. They did good. And at the end of my senior year, I went on my senior trip. And while I was out of town, my girlfriend cheated on me with her ex-boyfriend, whose name is Joe. After I found out, we broke up. I graduated and I ended up getting my first apartment. A few months go by and my ex and I decided to start talking a little again, and we just trying to see where things are at.
Trust issues.
Yeah, of course. One night she came over to my apartment and we were hanging out, having a good time. As we were standing there talking, her phone was laying on the bed face up. She got a text message from her best friend, and it said, "Joe wants you to call him when you get a chance." Bro.
Fucking Joe.
Fucking. Hey, what are you supposed to do?
At that age, you just go crazy, I'm pretty sure.
Bro.
Shit, I'll be like, I'm breaking phones.
Alright. So, immediately, once my heart dropped in my stomach, without showing any emotion, I left the room and went into the kitchen just to gather my thoughts. You know what I mean? I had to, like you said, punching holes in walls.
Right. Shit, my mind is breaking these walls down. I'm fucking tearing shit up.
While I was in the kitchen gathering my thoughts, she gathered her things and ran out the door. I tried to stop her, but
oh, no.
Yeah, I tried, but you can't stop a girl.
That makes it impossible to ever trust another woman again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We love them though. We always find a way though. I don't know how, but. So what happens next?
Some time goes by, a few days, a week, something like that. It's the month of October. And my family, they live out in the country, so I kept a 12-gauge shotgun in the truck. But I kept it full of slugs. I kept it loaded full of slugs.
Oh shit.
And it just stayed in the truck. I have to mention it. The truck, it stayed in the truck. Like, that's where it lived, basically. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And one night, as I'm in my apartment, my phone starts ringing. So I answered it. It was somebody on the other end harassing me, making threats. I asked who it was, and when I asked who it was, they hung up. They did it a couple more times, and while it was happening, I'm asking who it is, but they just keep talking shit. They just keep harassing me. Bro, honestly, I was kind of paranoid because I didn't know who it was. As I'm asking who it is, they just kept harassing me, and they said some things like, I put my hands on their sister. They said that I was abusive. They said that they were gonna fuck me up. They said they were gonna kick my door in with guns. I hung up on them. I called them back. I continued asking who it was. They continued to make threats. They read me my address and told me they were coming. And when they did that, I panicked because honestly, I didn't know who it was, and I thought they were with the business. My ex-girlfriend only had one brother, and I knew that the guy on the phone was not him. You know, it wasn't her brother. You know, I knew him pretty well, and it definitely wasn't him.
Did you recognize the voice at all?
No. I hung up the phone and I immediately jumped in the truck because they told me they were from Henrietta. Well, I just had an apartment in Almonte, so I was on the way. As I was headed to Henrietta, I called my brother and a few friends for some help because they lived in Henrietta. When I called my brother and explained the situation, all he said was go home. And I'm like, what? What do you mean go home? I just told you that somebody was gonna kick my door in with guns. And you said go home. What? Why would I go home?
Yeah.
Why would you want me to do that? Would you want me to die? Nah,
Not today.
yeah, he was like, go home. And I didn't. I hung up the phone, I called my friends, and they said come get us. So I hung up the phone and I was on my way. As I'm going through the town of Henrietta, these guys call my phone again, talking about guns. They triggered something in me. You know, I don't know what I was thinking, but I pulled into a parking lot and I told them where I was. I should have just kept driving to my friend's house, you know, but I didn't. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, you know? When I got there, I put a baseball bat and a gun on the tailgate, right? And depending on how they showed up was exactly what I was gonna use. I didn't know who these guys were, so honestly, I wasn't taking any chances. I didn't grow up. I didn't grow up thugging, bro. But I
Figure it out real quick.
you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm with the business.
Yes, sir.
And so a few minutes later, one car pulls in the front parking lot. I'm assuming as a lookout. About a minute later, the other car pulled in by me. All the doors came open, all four. They all got out and started rushing me. The driver reached for his waistband. While they were rushing me, he reached for his waistband. So within an instant, I pulled the gun and put it to his head. And so then I held him hostage for a little bit. Now I'm the bad guy holding 4 people at gunpoint while they got a lookout in another car. So
How did that make you feel? Having 4 people all scared of you at gunpoint. You feel power over them?
yeah, I wasn't gonna get into this, but you can also I put a little bit of that in my book. You can read that, but I wasn't gonna get into this. But if you want me to be honest, yeah, bro, I felt a lot of power, and they fucked with the right one that day. And honestly, I didn't want to. I didn't want none of that to happen.
Yeah.
You know, but it did. So
you were them.
it did. It is what it is. I wasn't prepared for the consequences for what was coming after all this transpired. So I knew that I couldn't shoot anyone. I knew that I couldn't kill anyone. There was too much happening all at once. I now had 4 people standing in front of me at gunpoint in the middle of city, in the middle of town, you know, in Henrietta, in a parking lot behind a church. Tons of neighbors, tons of witnesses, you know. They got a lookout in the front parking lot. I was gonna blow his head off. And like my thoughts were running together. And like I couldn't kill him and then kill them and then kill them and get it. You know, like it didn't sound good.
Yeah,
none of it sounded
But
good.
they couldn't just end with one. If you killed,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to go down.
Yeah, and I was going to prison. Yeah, so it didn't sound good. So honestly, I ended up letting them go. They were scared, and I said some things that I shouldn't have, and I let them know who was in charge. But I let them go, and even though I was acting in self-defense, I knew that it wouldn't look good for me if I didn't let them go.
I know you regret what happened, but do you ever think about what would have happened if you didn't pull the gun? Like, what if they would have jumped you?
Well, I seen the driver reaching for his waistband, so there's not a what if.
Yeah.
There's no what ifs
It was
at
about
all.
to.
There's yo, I ain't letting it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They weren't gonna. Maybe they'd have jumped me. Who knows? But I had that baseball bat just in case. But I also had the gun just in case because, like I said, depending on how they showed up was exactly what I was gonna use. If nobody had made any sudden movements, I'd have pulled the bat and I'd have fucked every one of them up. But the driver reached for his waistband, so I pulled the gun. And that's how it went down, and it is what it is. I let him go, and then finally I went and made it to my friend's house, and as I'm telling him what happened, the cops called my phone.
They call your phone?
Man, I ain't even lying, bro.
God,
The cops called my phone.
Fuck. Damn. Yeah, somebody definitely pointed the finger.
Yeah. They called my phone. When I answered it, they asked me where I was at and if they could come pick me up. Of course, I said no. They asked if I could come down to the station and answer a few questions. I asked them if I was under arrest. They said no. I already knew what it was about, so I wasn't taking any chances, and I hung up the phone. He called me back a few minutes later and asked me the same questions. Again, I asked him if I was under arrest, and he said no, so I hung up. I mean, I was not gonna go in because it looked like I did some bad shit. You know what I mean?
Did you ever think about going on the run?
Of course, but then like all of those thoughts came all at the same time, right? Like it's like you gotta go. And then it's like, but why, bro? Like you ain't even done nothing wrong. Why go? Like that was self-defense, you know? And so man, something came over me. And I decided to go to the police station. I don't know what I was thinking, but honestly, I didn't have anything to hide. And when I made it there to the police station, I had never been there before, so I really didn't know how to pull in. Okay, the police station was connected to the water department and the fire department at the time. So I didn't know how to pull in. It was one building. You know, I didn't know where to pull in at. I was gonna circle back and pull in again, you know, hit the block.
Yeah.
But as soon as I passed the turn in, I got lit up in every direction, bro.
Oh, damn.
Red and blue lights
Oh,
everywhere.
they was waiting for you then, huh?
Bro, yeah, of course. They were looking for me. It's like they all dispersed from the police station to like come and look for me. And then it's like they all like turned off and like there I was and they all just surrounded me. Yeah, it was crazy, man. You know, they did the whole thing with the bullhorn. They made me throw my keys out the window and get on my stomach.
Oh, damn. You had to do the work, son.
Hell yeah, they told me not to look at them. Of course, I looked at them. And when I did, everyone had their gun drawn. There was like 8 cops. Everyone had their gun drawn, fingers on the trigger, ready to put my lights out.
Face down and spread them, huh?
Man.
Pause.
Damn.
Oh, did he?
Damn. They cuffed me up. They took me inside the jail and put me in an interrogation room. And they left me there for a couple hours, probably like 2 or 3 hours.
Was that city jail?
Yeah, you know, kind of like they do in the movies too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. And it was cold. It was cold, man. It was cold. Yeah, and I didn't have a jacket or anything, so I was really freezing. But when they finally came in and let me tell my story finally, they didn't care. They just let me talk. Yeah, they didn't give a shit about my story. They thought I was lying from the very beginning, and they already had their story. They said that I wasn't acting in self-defense. They said that I was looking for trouble and that I was the one in the wrong. They said if I was in fear for my life, I would have never left my house. I would have stayed home. But honestly, I didn't grow up like that. I did, you know, and really, I didn't know I could blow somebody's head off if they came to my house.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Standing around long, huh?
Yeah, I didn't grow up like that. So I just didn't know that was in the cards for me. But honestly, I wasn't gonna give someone the chance to kill me, so I wasn't waiting around either. You know what I mean? I wasn't gonna wait there. But I offered the police my phone for evidence. I told them that they could access my AT&T call logs, my records. They didn't care.
They didn't care.
Nah, hell no. I told them I was in fear for my life. They didn't care. Told them I was acting in self-defense. Nah, they didn't care.
So that's why the system, they give us no choice but to react and act the way we do sometimes.
Yeah, they didn't care. They heard their story and it was a wrap. There was no justice. So the next morning, I would start my life, start my new life in the Okmulgee County Jail.
Worst place in the world, y'all. I'm telling you.
Hell yeah, that's where I would do.
Is that the beginning of the end? Or is that what?
Nah, that's the beginning.
Yeah, that's the beginning. Because
That's the beginning.
there's no end if you can turn it around.
That's the beginning. At first, they made up some charges. They made up some bullshit charges and just threw me in jail. But after I went to court a couple times, they ended up charging me with feloniously pointing a firearm. Have you ever heard of that?
Feloniously.
You ever heard of that?
Yeah. It sounds like logistically, but not physically.
They charged me with feloniously pointing a firearm and reckless conduct with a firearm because I also shot it in the air. You know what I mean?
It's like I thought about it.
No, it's like I wanted to kill these people, but I wasn't trying to. But I was just trying to scare them. I made my point. I'll say that. I made my point. And I was just trying to scare them, that's all. You know what I mean?
That being the case, going to Okmulgee County Jail, how was that? What was your first experience of walking into the facility?
Damn, it was life-changing. Yeah, it was life-changing. But honestly, fuck, man, if I'm gonna be honest,
Damn, it was scary, huh?
man, small part of me, damn, I can't believe I'm saying this. A small part of me feel like it should have been there. Like, it was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like it was inevitable.
Yeah, like, my mom was into all that, those crime shows. And you know how most people are usually rooting for the cops and rooting to catch the bad guy. Well, I was the kid rooting for the bad guy, rooting for him to get away. Not necessarily because I'm bad, bro. It's really not that at all.
It felt like they came from our walk of life, though, didn't it? A little bit, like it was on our, like they was on our team, or did it feel like they represented us, or not even that?
Maybe.
Or maybe it was just the resentment for the police. You know,
I don't know.
like I hate the cops that much to where I'm rooting for the other guy.
It's tough, man. It's tough to say. It's tough. It's really tough. It's probably just got a lot to do with the environment that you grow up in. Anyways, let me try to get back to the story though. While I was in the county jail, my bond was $50,000. So I could have bailed out with $5,000. Honestly, I didn't have $5,000. Not personally, you know, so I believed that my family would bail me out. But when I called them and told them how much it was, they told me they didn't have it.
Whew.
Yeah, they also told me that they didn't have the money for an attorney. So I spent the next year fighting my case in the county jail with a public defender. Okay, they were offering me 10 years probation. Sorry, lying. I don't know why I said probation. I'm so sorry. Forgive me, bro. They were offering me 10 years prison Okay? For the first time I'd ever been in trouble, okay? I had never had no charges. They were just going crazy, trying to hang me. That was the only offer they offered. Honestly, I think they offered it like 5 times, like 5 or 6 times. That was the only offer they offered.
10 years?
10 years.
Wow.
Every time I said no. I ended up getting the discovery packet for my case while I was in jail, so I had a record of all the statements that were written against me. I had a record of all the information the cops provided. And honestly, there was no evidence. They didn't submit my phone into evidence like I asked, like I suggested.
Yeah.
I even talked to my public defender about it. But that just show you how much public defenders care. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They work for the state, homie.
For all y'all who don't know what it's like fighting the charge with the public defenders ain't shit.
Ain't shit. I don't know. The public defender I had, the second time I got locked up, like she wasn't too bad. I actually tried to get her the first time and I couldn't get her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard good things about her. Man, they all work for this. They all get paid by the state, and they all, you know, they really don't care. But some of them like their job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when they like their job, they actually do their job. So
yeah,
some of them's alright.
A lot of them people, lawyers and DAs, they're all buddies, and they're all in it together. So it's kind of hard when you go to court and you see them all shake hands and give hugs, and you're like, I'm not gonna win.
So the cops didn't add anything into evidence for me. The statements didn't add up. The statements were all over the place, and that was my angle, and that's how I was going to beat the state. I was going to use the cops not submitting evidence and the statements not adding up, and I was going to beat them with a public defender. Hey, I had such high hopes. Listen, let me explain the case, okay? The case carried from 1 to 10 years. Prison, DOC, whatever. Okay? They offered me 10 years. I had never been in trouble. You know what I mean? The max that they could offer me, the max that they could give me was 10 years. That was the only offer they offered. So with no attorney, you know, honestly, I wasn't really trying to feel like big-headed or anything, but I honestly thought that I could fucking beat them with a public defender.
Yeah.
And I honestly felt like I had no choice because they were offering 10, and that was the max that it carried. So let's say I go to trial and I lose. They can't give me any more time. See, if they were giving me 5 years and I took it to trial and lost, they could have given me 10. Okay, but they were offering me 10, and that was the max it carried. So if I took it to trial and I lost, it's not like I'm losing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was taking that bitch to trial. And damn, I was almost there, bro. I was almost there.
Yeah, 10 is enough to run, I know that.
I was almost there. I was 3 days away from trial, bro. Bro, I was gonna beat the fuck out of him. And I didn't really understand it then, but, you know, if I knew then what I know now, you know. My public defender came to see me 3 days before trial. And she was like, they're offering you 10 years probation. And I was like, shit, give me a pen. You know, I think I went to jail at 19. I was 20 now, and I was like, shit, let me out. Yeah. Yeah, let me out of here. So, she went and got some paperwork, came back. I signed it, they let me out. But, you know, over the years, I've come to realize that if I had just stayed 3 days longer and took them bitches to trial, I'd fucking beat them. I'd beat the fuck out of them. The only reason they offered me 10 years probation is because they knew that I was gonna beat them.
Yep.
And I didn't know that, okay? And you see, the state, they gotta spend upwards to $100 grand
to go to trial.
Yeah. And I was gonna wipe the floor with them. And I had a public defender, and they played the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, they let me out. So, took the probation, got out that day. When I got out, I was doing pretty good. I got a job and I was living with my parents. One day while I was working at my job, so you know how tough it is to get a job when you get out.
Yep.
So I went to the workforce, right? And wasn't having no luck. I was there all day. I wasn't having no luck. Finally, at like the end of the day, somebody was like, hey, you need a job? I was like, yes. They was like, call this number. It's like, all right. I called the number, and it was a sawmill, little sawmill. Like, I had never heard of them. Never even heard of the town. It's called Winchester. In between Beggs and Glenpool. So I took the job.
Shit, I never heard that either. I'm just not hearing of it.
I took the job, and I went out there, worked, and it was a sawmill, and it was a pretty good gig. And the owner was also building a house. Nice house, bro. Nice house, all wood, oak, cedar. Fucking nice. Blackjack. It's fucking nice. And I got to help be a part of building some of that. I didn't build a lot of it, but I got to help with some of it. And one day, I was leaving the house, and I was walking back to the sawmill. I had some work to do over there at the sawmill. And I'm walking back, and I walked over a sack of dope.
Oh.
Yeah. And I walked over it several times, fighting with myself, going back and forth, trying to tell myself that it wasn't dope. But I knew that it was. But let me tell you why I thought that maybe it wasn't. Because before jail, I wasn't raised that way. So like, I did know that people would be playing stupid tricks.
Yeah.
I know that drug dealers and, you know, dope heads be getting over on people and making fake dope sacks. And I know that some people try to act like they got shit. You know what I mean? So I was just trying to tell myself that it wasn't, okay? But something in me knew that it was. Finally, I picked it up and I took it to my truck. You know, I went and checked it out. Sure enough, it was dope.
It was legit.
Yeah, it was dope. And from that point on, I started selling drugs and doing drugs and living a crazy life. I lost my job because I could never wake up on time. But honestly, that's not from the drugs, okay? So I don't want anybody to think, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No. My entire life, I've never been able to wake up, like for school, for any job. Bro, for the job I have now, I'm literally late like every day. But, you know, shout out to our bucket time.
Yeah, shout out
That's
everybody
pretty cool.
giving us that bucket.
Yeah, I have trouble waking up. It's a real problem for me. But my next job was at a convenience store. I was working the night shift. This is around the same time that I moved out of my parents' house again. It had only been a short time, maybe a couple months. And honestly, I was already headed for destruction. I hadn't even been involved with drugs for that long, and I was already headed for destruction. My first book, Guilty, The Story They Never Told, is available now. The link's in my bio. That's also where you'll find the Guilty brand.
Thanks for tuning in and being a part of this channel. If you enjoyed this one, leave us a like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to follow us to stay connected. Follow us on TikTok at Corrections Reflections, and find the Guilty brand on Etsy at Corrections Co. This is Corrections Reflections with Will and Boo.